We are back with your entrepreneurial weekend wake-up call. It's Mark Haney time. And welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Every one of us has something special inside. And Mark Haney has a knack for helping us see the greatness we have inside. He is the entrepreneur next door. And this is the Mark Haney Show.
Welcome back to the Mark Haney Show, brought to you courtesy of Hub International and Legion AVS. And today, I have the pleasure of having Eli Weiner. He is the Western States mobile home guru. He's the man behind Bovita Group. Eli, how you doing today?
Very good. Good to see you.
You hanging or banging today?
Well,
because when we're hanging, we're in our relaxed mode. We're in our shorts. We're in recharge mode. When we're banging, we're at our very best opportunity. And I see you're wearing your hanging or banging shirt. So
Yeah.
I figured you must be doing one or the other.
we're banging today.
All right, we are at our very best.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. When Eli Weiner is at his very best, what is he doing?
Keeping up with everything. Just keeping up with,
I don't know how you do that. How many mobile home parks do you own?
So we've got 96 mobile home and RV parks. And I was
Okay.
thinking about last time I was on your show. It's about 3 years ago.
Okay.
So we must have added probably about 60 parks.
Wow.
So the power of going on your show.
Look what happens when you come on the Mark Haney Show. Your business
what
just
happened-
blows up.
There's that, once you start calling someone an entrepreneur and saying, there's a lot of responsibility to that. So I had to go out and prove it.
Yes.
I've been
Okay, so
working
you've
hard
gone,
ever
you're up
since.
to 96 mobile home parks. And so, thinking about what do you do? I mean, that's a lot of responsibility. Obviously, you're still growing like crazy. What do you do? What's your role as the man behind all this?
Well, my main focus is acquisitions. And, we try to figure out what everyone's the best at. And I'm probably, that's
like to
where,
buy
that's
stuff.
where I like to buy stuff. I like to
Okay.
buy stuff that has problems.
Uh-huh.
So the Boa Vita means good life. And if you look at a lot of these communities, when they were built years ago, there was just phenomenal community in these neighborhoods.
Okay.
So it's really kind of a neat opportunity to go in to see something that's kind of been worn out and not hasn't been there hasn't been the capital reinvested, that we can go in, basically reinvest that capital, rejuvenate the neighborhood, bring people together and build that community.
Okay, so you go into we'll call it a dilapidated mobile home community. Maybe there's even problems there with the people, maybe with the mobile homes. What do you do to turn it around? What happens?
And back to the good life. The good life is not about the things that we have, and it's about the relationships that we have with people. And by building that community, they're basically living the good life.
Yeah.
So that's really what we're trying to, and by doing that and producing a profit while doing that, we make it repeatable. Mm-hmm.
So what does it look like? What's the before and after look like?
It can look really bad before. I mean,
Okay.
really bad. I mean, we have a park up in the Reading area that actually had like an actual axe murder.
Whoa.
And it was right next to a charter school. It was, that's a place where we actually completely, emptied it out.
Yeah, you had to
and
evict all the...
brand new utilities, brand new roads, and now we're ready for homes. So we're going to be putting in a bunch of brand new homes and
Okay, so then you come in with the brand new mobile homes.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're in this acquisition mode. Obviously, it takes a lot of money to go out there and risk. How do you assemble these funds? Where's all the money come from?
Usually from
cash flow?
It's from cash flow. It's from cash flow. We have just a fantastic group of investors. We've got a local company that did a large investment with us last year that we were able to do about $60 million in deals last year.
Wow.
So I probably have the best investors that you could ever hope for. Just when you're doing well and everything's going as you had planned, everyone reinvests. So everyone wants to, get back in the next deal.
Well, thinking about the conversation that we just had with Gary Davis, we were talking about risk, and he was talking about some of his teammates when they take a risk, that was more difficult for him than when he risked his own life. And I have to imagine if you're risking other people's money, right? If you've brought in a couple of investors to help you do this, there's a fiduciary responsibility to these people.
He talked about if you're going to throw your mom out of a window to fall 100 feet and the type of due diligence that he's putting in.
I don't think he mentioned his mother.
No, I'm taking it to the next level because we're talking about we're risking our money, we're risking investors' money. So the amount of due diligence that you have to go through, the amount of understanding the risk. I mean that's very, very important. So, our principles at the Boa Vida Group are basically, investors first, and then we put our money where our mouth is. So we're going to invest along with them.
I think having skin in the game, that's a proof that you believe in you're committed to the opportunity.
Yeah. We also, follow the 11th commandment, which is thou shalt not take thyself too seriously. So we like to have a lot of fun. But no, I think that Gary was. I think that if an entrepreneur can think like Gary Davis does, where when he looks at he looks at every job he has, if you looked at that before you started a business, you would just make a lot less mistakes and you'd be very successful. And it's that in whether you're investing or starting a new company or whatever, like that's the type of due diligence you need to put in there. So I just think that that's a fantastic message to people out there.
Yeah, well, the first time I met you, I remember going over to your office probably 3 years ago, like you said, and I asked you a little bit about your investment strategy or your investment thesis, and you sort of scoffed at the idea of diversification, right? So I don't believe in diversification. Has that changed? Obviously, you've committed a lot more resources to mobile homes. What do you think of diversification today?
I know you're kind of a well-diversified guy. I didn't know you that well then.
It's called ADD.
And because it's funny when you say things to people, and then later on, if I didn't like Mercedes and I said something bad, and then we walk outside and you drive a Mercedes.
I'm all in on entrepreneurship, okay?
But the point is that you have to know something inside and out. So to do an exceptional job, an above-average job on something, it's too difficult for you to know 100 different things and do well at it. So you're more likely for your net worth not to go up the more you diversify. So basically what you see is a lot of people, they make a lot of money focused on one thing, and then once they get there, they spread it all out because they're scared of losing it.
Yeah, it's all about preservation of capital, right? Instead of growth, you're a growth guy, which is very entrepreneurial. Yep. I like to think I'm that way too, but obviously I'm not as singularly focused.
The thing that a lot of people don't understand about real estate is they just lump it all together. But there's all these different asset classes, and they're all completely different businesses. It's funny, but if I hang out with my friends that are in the office building world, the things that they share with me on how that business works, it blows my mind. And so the truth is, I'm actually in one of the most forgiving asset classes. Yeah, so I don't have to be as smart as them.
Well, you know how to turn mobile homes around and make your investors a lot more money, a lot better off financially. But let's think about what keeps you up at night. Gary talked about that a little bit. Like, what scares you today, or what worries a guy like Eli Weiner?
Well, worrying. I try not to worry too much.
Okay. How do you eliminate the worry from your life? Have you done that your entire life? Is that genetic, or do you have a practice?
I would say that probably the number one thing that I might be concerned about is that I wasn't in the beginning. Years ago, you're starting a business. I need to make enough money. I got to pay for this kit I made, and make sure that my wife can get groceries and stuff like that. So you're not really wondering. You
don't have as much financial to lose when you're young.
Yeah, you're not wondering whether or not you're building a good company.
Okay.
So I would say in these last few years, it's really about building a company that has phenomenal culture, and how you're treating your team, how you're treating your customers. In our case, our residents that live in the communities. How we're creating just an exceptional experience, an above average experience. So that I would say I think is the biggest challenge, because you can make a lot of money, but it's important that you do it the right way.
How do you build that culture?
Well, that's
I stumped Eli Weiner. Don't tell me that.
well, leadership. It's all about by example, and it's a long process, and without basically being right there in the front, leading that way, and keeping communication open.
Yeah, but you guys have a culture too. I know you have a culture of giving back to the community, right? I know you're involved personally. You've helped Haney Biz with our things that we're doing around here, and Allegiant Giving. I mean, talk to us about the culture of giving back, and somebody who's had so much success. And when did you decide to start giving back in the way that you do?
Well, probably not early enough. It's only been maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 years or something that I've been, that giving on a regular basis, maybe 3-4 years. But so I believe in giving uncomfortably. So, basically, it's what's going to make it a little bit uncomfortable if I give this too much. So first of all, every time and there's some people that everyone knows they got a ton of money, so they got to be really careful, and that's hopefully that's a good problem to have. But if someone sends me something and they're raising funds for a charity, or they have something that's important to them, you really have to look at that as an opportunity. And you always hear all this stuff about, it comes back to you. It comes back to you. And the truth is, it comes back to you like in all sorts of crazy ways. So I try to get involved in as many local charity fundraisers that I can. Anything that I can help in the Sacramento area. The relationships that you build because of that. And another thing is, you meet all these other like-kind guys, and most of them are all entrepreneurs. So they get excited and they connect you with other people, and so it's crazy. So really the advice is give uncomfortably, and it's through the relationships that you build, it's insane how it comes back to you.
We only have a minute left. Closing thoughts to entrepreneurs out there that are thinking about their diversification strategy or their go all in strategy. Advice to entrepreneurs as they enter the waters that are so scary here in entrepreneurship.
The advice to enter the
advice, right? So, when we start off our journey as entrepreneurs, we have these big dreams, right? We dream about owning 96 mobile home parks, maybe 196, or maybe 1,000, right? We have these big dreams, but then we get in, and it's a heck of a lot harder. We think about quitting. We get nervous. We stay up at night because it's not working like we thought. Like those people that are in that moment of like worry and doubt and fear. Advice to them as they continue to press on.
Well, I think you do your due diligence, but and I think we spoke about this before. Don't have a backup plan. Just get it done. Yeah. Don't have an out. Don't have a safety net. Just know and just go.
All right, Eli, thank you for joining us. Love what you're doing. Love working with you out here in the community, in the entrepreneurial world. When we return, I will be joined by Paul and Yvonne Kelly, the owners of Daycation for Seniors. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, courtesy of Chicago Fire and the Apex Appraisal Services. This is The Mark Haney Show.